Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadhalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarabhaktaya Namo Namaha. Who's putting garland on a donkey? You want to hear a funny story? Once there was a donkey, and he was a very special kind of donkey. Why? He got selected. Normally he is busy carrying bricks or carrying laundry. Sometime carrying laundry, sometime carrying bricks. One time there was Durga Puja. And so they said, we need a rath. We can't have a tiger. Durga normally rides on a tiger. So anyhow, let's use this donkey. And they made like a saddle on the donkey, and to that saddle they strapped a little rath, mandir. And in that mandir they put Durga Mata, Jai Mata Di. And they also put a garland on the donkey. And then they had this rath procession ready, Durga Puja. And as the donkey was going, donkey is thinking, I've been working so hard for so many years. Finally, they're starting to respect me around here. And everyone was chanting, Jai Mata Di, Jai Mata Di, Jai Mata Di. And they were going in front of the donkey, right? And blowing conch shells and bugles and waving chamara and then dancing. And as they started to dance, the donkey became so ecstatic. Everyone is glorifying me today. Everyone is worshiping me today. The donkey also began to dance. And then the Durga Murti started to wobble and shake. And everyone got afraid, oh, she'll fall. So the master came and started to beat the donkey. Hut! Padmash, stand still. So now I am this donkey. No, thank you so much. Hare Krishna. What is the point? We may carry great wisdom, but this is not our property. And we may carry, beautiful conceptions, but this is not our property. Or we may very nicely glorify Radha Krishna or the divine, but this is not our glories. So thank you so much for giving some place here also to me. But I am trying to carry a very lofty conception of which I am not worthy. But also, this is their glories. Oh Gurudev, if you cannot make a fool like me, your servant, then people will say you did not have that greatest power. Right? So you are Patita Pavana, deliverer of the fallen. I am one fallen person. So I'm praying that you deliver me. This is your own glories. Shri Gurudev ki jai. So, Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. One more time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare. Everyone comfortable? Yeah. Okay. So tonight I wanted to share some stories of our Guru Pada Padma, but also some context. For us, we are here in the West, and you could say our father of Krishna consciousness in the West is Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Everyone can agree? He's like our father for Krishna consciousness in the West. So one kind of guru is in that role like father. And some gurus are in the role like mother. And according to the time, place, and circumstance, a guru can take both roles. They are not so limited, right? Like for me, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj, he is my diksha guru. So that is like father. But we're hearing very beautiful glories of him from Sripad Shyamsundar Prabhuji, Sashvat Prabhuji. For him, he was more like mother and also like intimate friend. So in this way, there's diksha guru, shiksha guru. But in the broad scope of things, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada is like the father of Krishna consciousness in the West. But as we all know, single parent families, sometimes the children don't grow up in a fully holistic manner. But when there's very expert father and very loving mother, then the children are raised very nicely. So there's a verse about guru-tattva. Guru Krishna Rupahan Sastra Praman Guru Rupe Krishna Kripa Karena Bhaktagan. Everyone can hear okay, right? That Guru is Krishna's Rupa. That means Krishna gives his potency to that personality who is doing the service of Guru. And through that person, he is giving mercy to the devotees and uplifting them from Maya. But Chaitanya Charitamrita says there's also a shiksha guru. That shiksha guru is described not to be Krishna's rupa, form, but Krishna's swarupa. That means more of his mood and personality, and also his more internal state. And also, swarup refers to Swarup Shakti Shrimati Radhika. That means one guru takes more of the majestic quality of Krishna and awe and reverence, like you were explaining, Shyamsundar Prabhuji, for Swami Prabhupada. And that is necessary, because without that reverence, if we become too informal, then we won't take his teachings as seriously. And we see how seriously disciples of Swami Prabhupada took his teachings. And to this day are distributing them throughout the world through millions and millions of books being distributed. But Swarup is more gentle and soft. And that's more on the side of Srimati Radhika. So Shiksha Guru Ke Tajani Krishna Swarup. Antaryami, the indwelling witness, Paramatma, Supersoul, Bhakta Shrestha, and the topmost devotee. A Dvirup. Shiksha Guru has two forms. One is the Antaryami, Chaitya Guru. But that's also more Radha Paksha. More leaning towards Sri Radha's side. They have these two forms. So in that regard, before I start from Gurudev's childhood, I want to mention this intimate relationship between Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj and Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. I'm not saying, he was Shiksha Guru to this person, he was Diksha Guru to this person. We have to understand there's also like Diksha and Shiksha for a mission. The Diksha Guru, the father of the mission, and the mother of the mission. And how both are doing some special role. And this is according to a divine plan, not our plan. There's a verse about the devotees, Vaishnavas, real Vaishnav. Na karma bandhanam janma Vaishnavanam cha vidyate. The Vaishnavas, real Vaishnavas, that means liberated souls, those who are beyond Maya, Jivan Mukta. Liberated even in this very form we see. They are not bound by the law of karma. Why? Because they are Vishnu Anuchar, followers of the Lord's divine plan. We say, right, man proposes, God disposes. We like to say these catchphrases, but we should follow and apply them. It is not by some strategic planning, that Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, see, I'm even interchanging their names, that Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj was like a spiritual successor for Swami Prabhupada. This is the Lord's plan. And nowadays, people get upset about this a little bit, but in the 80s and 90s, those who were there at that time understood the necessity for this. Because the mission was at a very critical stage. Everyone knows when a great person leaves, there's a vacuum. And thieves and rogues from outside and from inside can topple a great movement. Our Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj was a stabilizing force. In many levels, he helped when there were court cases to take away ISKCON from Swami Prabhupada's spiritual sons and daughters by his material sons. And Gurudev was the primary force stabilizing and helping protect ISKCON. But that's on the material side. You can lose buildings, but the spirit of the people was also being lost. And this is factual, a historical point. I grew up in it and I saw it, but moreover, my parents and their peers who had served in ISKCON as pioneers, distributing the books, building the temples, they also witnessed this. Gurudev came, and he did not come independently. He came by the direct will of his dear friend and shiksha guru, his own shiksha guru. See, guru is like that. They can take on whatever role is beneficial for the Lord according to his plan. But for the Western countries, in the last 50, 60, 70 years, from 1960s when Swami Prabhupada came, 65? So how many years have gone now? Over 60 years? 62 is like that. Then Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj have helped to guide the mission. Also, many other disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada helped. Many. But Gurudev was primary. People think, oh, this was his strategic planning. So I want to tell Gurudev's life story, but first I want to dwell on this point a bit. It's very relevant. Children may know their father to some extent. Like, I know my father, my biological father, but I don't know him like my mother. Our Gurudev knows Swami Prabhupada to a very deep degree, very, very closely. He met him in actually even like the late 1940s and early 1950s. When our Gurudev joined the mutt, his Gurudev, Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, was a close friend and senior godbrother to Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, at the time Abhay Charanaravinda. And Srila Abhay Charanaravinda at the time was Grihastha, householder, but he was at that time already a powerful preacher. And he would come to events when Param Gurudev was speaking, Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Swami Maharaj. And Gurudev was a Sevak Brahmachari, at that time Gaur Narayan Das Adhikari. Like, he had left household life and joined the mutt. And Param Gurudev would have him bring Swami Prabhupada and sit him on the raised platform, and they would speak before thousands of people. And from that time, they began a friendship. Later, when Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada left home, he came to Mathura. Gurudev went, he was staying in a very, very humble place near the Jamuna. He was very poor. He left home penniless. And Srila Gurudev brought him and asked him, please stay in our mutt, Keshavji Gaudiya mutt. And he stayed there for some years. He was the chief editor for their Hindi magazine called Bhagavat Patrika. He was also editor for their Bengali magazine, Gaudiya Patrika. And then he also started his own magazine, Back to Godhead. They were very friendly. Gurudev was younger, but not so much younger. Younger, like 20 years or so. Swami Prabhupada was born 1896, right? Gurudev 1921. It's okay, 25 years. But, so he was younger, but they were very close friends. When Swami Prabhupada and Gurudev were in the mud together, Padam Gurudev was mostly preaching around the country, but Gurudev was maintaining Keshavji Gaudiya Math in Mathura. And Gurudev would say, we would make chapatis together every day. Those who know Indian culture, right? You cook for Thakurji, rice, dal, sabjis, kheer, but chapatis, in North India especially. Without chapatis, then the cooking is not finished. In the West, we think, I have to make the dough and I have to roll it out. It's a big chore. But in India, it's like second nature. And when everyone's making chapatis, it's a good time to chat. You know? So Gurudev would say, we would talk and laugh and joke and talk about Krishna Leela, Mahaprabhu Leela, and you know, whatever topic is going on. Swami Prabhupada would roll the chapatis, Gurudev would cook the chapatis. So they had such a friendship. And Swami Prabhupada would reveal his heart and say, oh, my Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, he asked me so many times, not so many times, but in his meditation every day he was asking him. So maybe Saraswati Devi is telling me the right thing. He told him the first time he met him, I want you to preach in the Western countries. You speak good English. When he was a young boy, at that time, this is what, early 30s maybe? So at that time, Swami Prabhupada was like 30-year-old man, something. He went with his friend, he said, I want you to preach all over the world. Swami Prabhupada would say to Srila Gurudev, Srila Narayana Swami Maharaj, I don't know how is this possible. We all know the miraculous story of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, how he came, crossing the seas, surviving heart attacks, how his mood of dedication to Krishna. He said, Lord, you have brought me here to dance, make me dance, I am your willing puppet. He came with pennies and brought back the whole world. Srila Prabhupada ki. They were very close friends. Bhakti is not a competition. You did this much, I'll do this much. Sometimes, you know, people who are a little envious of Srila Gurudev, they say, you know, you have the whole world, why are you disturbed? Gurudev, his disciples would write his Wikipedia page, and they would have active campaigns to take down his page. To this day, 3-4 times. Why? This is like children fighting. Like, I only like my father, I don't like mother. Why? I don't know who is father, who is mother. This is not a material relationship, and Gurudev was not a material mother. But he had the love of many mothers. Those who were disciples of Swami Prabhupada can attest to this. Am I right? There's a verse in Shastra that says, Vatsalya Matri Koti. Guru has the love of millions of mothers. And I know, because I witnessed this as a child, how he would have so much affection for the disciples of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and how he would deepen their relation with him. How he would help show them the glories of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. He would say, you are looking at the height of his glories, but I will show you the depth of his glories. That one does not minimize the other. And Gurudev would say, every day, in Mangala Arati, in ISKCON temples, what do we sing? Sangsara dhava nalalita loka Tranaya karunya gana ganatvam praptasya karunya gananavasya vande guru shri charanara vindam. Very beautiful prayer. Every day Mangalarti, waking the Lord. This song shows many levels of Guru's glories. Not only Sangsara Dhavanala. What is the real Dhavanala, forest fire, that by which we are ultimately suffering? If you talk about ontology, what is the ontological source of our suffering in samsara? Correct. We are in separation from Krishna, our source. Because of that, we are looking for happiness in all the wrong places. And we are becoming more and more deeply covered by anarthas, obstacles, impediments, lust, anger, greed, madness, illusion. But those things are not the source problem. We are too addicted to allopathic, covering of the superficial ailments without trying to find the source. This is Western culture. I will treat the symptoms, right? Take this medicine, but don't change your diet. You are suffering because of a bad diet. No problem, take this antacid and it will give you cancer in 10 years, but take it anyway.
Quick fix.
Huh?
Quick fix.
Yeah. Feel better today, suffer more tomorrow. Don't worry. Whoever saw tomorrow? Baba, tomorrow will come. Some people ask me, tomorrow, is there such a thing as tomorrow? I said, commit a murder today and go to jail tomorrow and find out if there's such a thing as tomorrow. And then when you're in jail, you'll say, oh, there is no past, there is no future. Baba, we are in samsara, past, present, and future. The real source of our suffering is that we as a soul, as a living entity, we are foreigners in this world. This is not our rightful home. We are the superior energy of the Lord. This is the material energy of the Lord. We are meant to be united in love with God. There are many levels of this union in love. But the highest level is given in our Gaudiya line by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anyone who takes a objective study of all different scriptures, they can understand the ultimate height and depth of the sweetness of Madhurya Ras Bhakti, the sweet romantic love between Radha and Krishna, and the opportunity to serve them in what way? As the maidservants of Srimati Radhika. Therefore, every day we sing in all our ISKCON temples, right? 6 verse, 6 Gurvastakam, who knows? Nikunja yuno ratikeli siddhai yayali bir yuktirapekshaniya tatrakshi dhaksha ativalabhasya vande guru shri charanara. So this verse is very difficult to understand. Why? Oh, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada is our father. How can he be perfecting the loving pastimes of Radha Krishna in the Kunj? Oh, we are too addicted to our limited, linear mindset. We cannot understand the potency of the liberated soul. Liberated soul in this world is serving as Diksha Guru, Krishna Rupahan. But what is the depth of his glory? What is his internal position? Nikunja yuno rati keli siddhai. The rati, you have to understand what is rati, what is keli, and what does it mean to perfect that. Rati means the amorous, loving affairs of the divine youthful couple, Radha and Krishna. Keli is those sweet pastimes, like we say, Krishna Keli Shuddha Prashravana. Krishna's Keli, his loving affairs with Sri Radhika, are like a waterfall of nectar. That person who is bathed, or not even bathed, but with a waterfall. Then when Niagara Falls, Gurudev went to see it. So much of those mist particles rise up. That person who has not bathed in the waterfall of the nectar of Radha Krishna's amorous pastimes, but who has been moistened by those particles of bliss, of nectar, their life becomes completely transformed. This is what I would guess you experienced, Prabhuji. Right? When you're in the association of Mahabhagavat, like Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj, you're in association with that waterfall of nectar. Why? He is always speaking and distributing this. Shiradhika madhavayoda para madhurya lila gunarupa namnam pratikshana swadhana lolupasya Vande Guru Shri Charanada Pratikshana. Whether he is speaking it or not, he is bathing in that waterfall of nectar. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada also bathing in that waterfall of nectar. Therefore, they are bosom friends. So the sons, they know the father to some degree, and especially sons, we are very attached to father's masculine glories. He conquered the world. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Come on, where's the enthusiasm? Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He conquered the world. I tell people, if anyone's going to save the world, it's going to be ISKCON devotees through Prabhupada's mercy. Why? They have that chutzpah. Distributing millions of books, building temples all over the world, 1,000 temples, then 10,000 temples. They will. Why? Prabhupada's seed is there. And that is a very powerful seed. From that seed, many powerful trees. From those trees, thousands of more seeds. The followers of Prabhupada coming, next generation, next generation, next generation. You won't be able to stop them. First generation, Prabhupada made brilliant managers to build a beautiful, brilliant society. And now you see second generation. They don't have to manage, and they are katha vachaks. Many, many are there. And how they are preaching and how they will preach. But Bhagavatam has one saying. So usually what happens with me, sometimes I think I'll speak about this. And then I'll say, okay, all that aside, we'll have to do another program next time. And just whatever the channel goes, we'll go in that way. There's a verse in the Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam is compiled by who? Shri Ved Vyas. But yet there's a verse where Ved Vyas is glorifying his son. Yang pravrajantam anupetam apeta kritya dvaipayano virahaka tara ajuhavas putreti tanmayataya taravo binedus tam sarva bhuta hridayam munimanatosmi. Shri Vyasadeva, who's writing this, is glorifying his son Sukadeva Goswami. Because Sukadeva Goswami has some rasa that he is relishing that even Vyasadeva himself cannot fully grasp. Why? He is Bhagavan's Shaktavesh avatar. But what the Bhakta is tasting and relishing, Sukadev, Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Phalam, Sukha Mukar Amrita Drava Samyutam, Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalaya Muhura Horasika Bhuvi Bhavuka. What he is relishing, that other side, Bhagavat side, Aishwarya side, opulent side cannot understand. So those coming in the future, these Sukha Parampara people, the people in the line of Sukadeva Goswami, that line of Sukadeva Goswami is called Bhagavat Parampara. You cannot bind that through any formal structure. It's Bhagavat. It's not bound by material society, institutions, and the structure. They're free. Free birds. They will glorify Swami Prabhupada, the depth, the height, the breadth. But his glories are also interwoven with the glories of Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj. Why? If you're only attached to the opulence, you'll remain within that, and you'll never enter the sweetness of Braja Prem. Why should I make cow dung patties in Vrindavan when I could be stacking gold bricks in my institution? Right? How will I leave that aside? When Gurudev would do Braj Mandal Parikrama, I saw this because I went since I was 9 years old. This is your Venu. Since I was very young, in 1996 I went with my father. People were dressed with very clean clothes. And Gurudev would say, they would sit down in the dust of Braj and then make sure no dust is left on their clothes. Why? I have nice silk cloth. Okay, dry dust is okay, but I remember as a kid, sometimes the sewers, where there'd be a rainstorm or something, and in the gullies where we would walk, the pathways would be filled with 2-3 feet water, and all mixed from the open sewers. And us devotees, we're very happily walking through it, no problem. People are thinking, oh, I can't go on parikrama today. And on the buses we would go, on the buses the dust would enter, even if you close the windows, Indian bus windows at that time. Yes. It would be like, 95% closed. And it would shake. That means all the dust could come in. And we were all bathing in the dust of the holy land of Vrindavan. Baba, every particle of that dust has the power to give you prem, if you have faith. Chintamani moy radha kunda tata. Every particle of dust has the power to fulfill all your spiritual aspirations. Why? Krishna has walked on that dust. All his cows have made that very fine. All the cowherd boys, all the gopis have wandered throughout that Braj Mandal. And they are still doing that. Sometimes we think, oh alas, Krishna came so long ago. Baba, Krishna is in Vrindavan now. But he's hidden. He's hidden in every little murti. He's thinking, murti, deities are very intelligent. Krishna is very smart. Very smart, he's God. He hides in a murti so that the atheists don't disturb him. Confirmation. Sometimes when like in India, you need confirmation, then the crickets will start talking. Right? It's like, and everyone goes like this. 3 times confirmation. So Krishna is hiding in Vrindavan in thousands of forms, little murtis. And people take these little gopals on parikrama. Baba Krishna is also hiding in many other forms we cannot see. Every day he's doing ras with Srimati Radhika and the gopis, Sevakunj and Vangsivat. Vrindavan is Krishna Leela Bhumi now also. It said, Adhyapya Leela se kore gorarai kono kono bhagyavan deki badapai. Some very fortunate souls can see how Krishna's pastimes are going on right now in Vrindavan. And how Gauranga Mahaprabhu's pastimes are going on right now in Navadvip Dham. So, Nikunja yuno ratikeli siddhaya yali yukti rapekshaniya tatrakshi daksha rativalabhasya vande guru shri charanadavindam. You can fight and battle to build the mission your whole life, but not 24 hours a day. Sometime you should reserve for bhajan. Gurudev came to teach us this, right? He would say you should understand what is in the book when you are distributing the book. Take time. In the time of building, there's like a special, almost like a military allowance. No need any bhajan, just preach and build. Prabhupada was a founder and a pioneer like that. He said, just distribute my books, but he said, chant 16 rounds. Every day in the morning, like 1.5, 2 hours, everyone would chant. What are you doing when you're chanting japa? Right? At that time, ultimately, we should learn how to serve Radha Krishna. They are non-different from their names, and by properly chanting their names, you will understand their name, form, qualities, and pastimes in Vrindavan. And this Maha Mantra is Yugal Mantra. Prem is hidden within these names. Ras Leela is your Japamala. Here's Rasa Leela going on. You want to enter Rasa Leela? Serve Tulsi Maharani. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. And as you're rubbing the beads of Tulsi Devi, she is polishing the mirror of your heart. So that one day, when you close your eyes, you will see the divine couple. And then, when you open your eyes, you will see the divine couple. And they will take your hand, not directly. They will send Guru Pada Padma, Guru Sakhi, and she will hold your hand and bring you to Radhe Radhe. Hare Krishna, welcome. The service of the divine couple. This will happen. So Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, to do that Nikunja Yuno Ratikeli Siddhaya, it's not possible in this male form. Not possible. Even for Raghunath Das Goswami in that male form, he cannot serve the divine couple like that. He must take form of gopi. When Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada was given sannyas. Gurudev said, to preach throughout the world as Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada asked you to do, you should take sannyas. And Param Gurudev also requested him. And Swami Prabhupada, in his glorification of Param Gurudev, he would say, oh, Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga, that you gave me this Vairagya Vidya, and by your request I took sannyas to Param Gurudev. And Gurudev was the priest. And Param Gurudev gave sannyas mantra. In our Gaudiya line, sannyas mantra is Gopi Bhav mantra. Therefore, when Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada was preparing to enter Nitya Leela, the eternal pastimes of Radha Krishna, he asked, I want Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj to place me in Samadhi. He had many qualified disciples. But he said, I want him to do it. Why? Whoever places that Acharya in Samadhi is considered spiritual successor. Why? They're carrying his spirit forward according to his own desire. This is Bhagavad Parampara, like the Brajabasi's crooked path. If you want to go on Prem Gali, the path of love, you'll find it is very crooked. It does not conform to your material standards, your institution, your laws. It only conforms to divine plan. And that divine plan, Krishna is Tribhanga Lalit, threefold bending form. But when Srila Gurudev placed him in Samadhi, when any sannyasi in our line he leaves, then on their chest is written that sannyas mantra. And that sannyas mantra is Gopi Bhav mantra. Therefore, before, for the months leading up to Swami Prabhupada's departure, he would ask his disciples, oh, bring Narayan Maharaj from Mathura. And he would go 2-3 times a week. This is all historical fact. I was preaching once, and people, oh, very nice guitar. Now we want to talk to you about politics. I said, I'm tired. I don't want to think about that. But they said, I want to ask you a few questions. Then I said these 3-4 points. Everyone became like, oh, like after a long sleep, your eyes are open. This is all historical fact. There's no room for speculation in this matter. There's an audio recording. Swami Prabhupada said, he was speaking to Srila Narayana Maharaj, please guide my disciples forward in this mission. And therefore he did it since 1977 to 1994. He was guiding and helping everyone. Then for Krishna's sweet Leela, some politics was there. Therefore he had to go and preach on his own throughout the whole world. But before Swami Prabhupada was departing, Gurudev would say this many times. So I want to cover this topic and then go back to his Leela. But I thought this is important to share. Why? Whatever is coming in my heart. Srila Gurudev would sing to him, Shri Rupa Manjari Pada Se Mora Sampada Se Mora Bhajana Puja Na Se Mora Bhajana Pujana. He would sing, and Prabhupada and they would discuss, and he was saying, everything will be taken care of by Krishna. You can hear the lecture, the audio recording of the conversation. Krishna is taking care of your whole mission. Now let us absorb our minds in our ultimate internal absorption. So as I said last night, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada is serving Krishna. He can serve in Sakha form because Guru is not so limited. Guru can serve in Mahaprabhu's Leela and Krishna Leela, and in Krishna Leela, according to the perception of the disciple, they can take on another form. We talked about this in our Jagannath temple. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur is praying for millions of bodies to serve Krishna. And therefore, Guru is appearing in different forms to serve Krishna, and also he is reappearing in the hearts of his disciples and inspiring them, and with them he is also serving Krishna. Guru plants the seed in your heart. When that seed becomes ripened, it'll become like a fully blossomed creeper or a tree, and then a flower and a fruit will come there, and many more seeds will come there, and this way Guru's family expands into millions of forms. So we should not limit Guru. But we should understand that every day they are singing this Gurvastakam. You should not limit Prabhupada's glories to say, oh, he cannot serve in the 5th verse and the 6th verse. His service is limited to verse 1, 2, 3, right? Verse 1 is he's delivering us from the ocean, the forest fire of suffering. Verse 2 is he is helping us, engaging us in Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement. Verse 3 is he's teaching us how to serve the deity form. This is all sadhaka lila. He is siddha, but he is teaching sadhakas. Verse 4, he's giving us Mahaprasad and teaching us, Prabhupada, ISKCON bullets, gulab jamins, Nityananda halava, Goranga potatoes. Right? Radharani chutney. Radha red chutney. Everyone knows it, right? Nityananda halava, Goranga potatoes, and ISKCON bullets. So this is 4th verse, Gurvastakam, Chaturvida Shri Bhagavat Prasad. But 5th verse, 6th verse is very high. Shiradika madhavayodapada madhuri alila gunarupanam pratikshanash dhanalodipa vande guru. Then even higher, Nikunja yuno ratikeli siddhaya yali viryukti rapekshaniyai. This is very high. Why did Prabhupada arrange that everyone is chanting this Mangalarti? Then after Mangalarti, we're doing Tulsi Parikrama. And during Tulsi Parikrama, what are we praying? During Tulsi Parikrama, praying, oh, when will Srimati Radhika and Krishna accept me and bring me into the Nikunj? And may I serve as the maidservant of Srimati Radhika? This is right there in the prayers. So we should not limit Prabhupada's glories and exclude him from that service. This is one of the main things Srila Gurudev established in relation to him. And in presence of the elders who are there, am I correct?
Absolutely.
So now we'll tell a few stories of Gurudev's childhood. Srila Gurudev ki Jai. Everyone has time still? Stomachs aren't rumbling yet? Okay, I'll give some more appetizer katha. When Gurudev was a little boy, he loved Ram Katha. His parents were Sri Vaishnava Brahmins, born in Tiwaripur in Bihar. So Gurudev is Bihari. Why? He is servant of Vrindavan Bihari. Banke Bihari. And Shri Radha Vinod Bihari. And Shri Radha Raman Bihari. Sometimes, people have competition. Oh, Mahaprabhu's followers should be Bengali. They are Gaudiya. Gaudiya means Bengal থেকে এসছেন. এটা Gaudiya খেয়েছেন না Gaudiya. But Gaudi means Gaudika. Gaudika means Srimati Radhika's party hai. Ye Gaudiya. Gaudi Srimati Radhika. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi. Gaurangi, then Gaudiya. Then Namo Mahavadanya Krishna Prema Pradare Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauda Trishe Namaha. First comes Gaurangi, then Gauranga. So, we should not think, oh, this is Bengali Vaishnav, this is Bihari Vaishnav, this is Hindustani Vaishnav. I am a Hindustani, so I like Hindustani Vaishnavas. I am Bengali, so I like Bengali Vaishnavas. Why will I follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He is Bengali Bhagavan. Bangla Bhagavan. Baba, Bhagavan is Bhagavan. But Gurudev is Bihari. Why? He is helping us bridge from Gaudiya to Braj. Therefore, in between Bangla and Hindustan, Vrindavan is what? Bihar. Right? Yeah? It's in between, right?
Yeah. Right.
More or less. Gurudev was a little boy. He would go to all Harikatha. And everyone else would start to sleep or go home early. Sometimes they would do 12-hour katha, Ram katha. Gurudev would want to stay the whole time. If they take him away, he starts to cry. Like Lord Chaitanya, he would cry unless people are chanting Harinam. When they start chanting Harinam, he stops crying. So Gurudev would listen to katha like that. When he was only 4 or 5 years old, he would be so absorbed in Ram katha that in his dreams, Lord Ram would come. Sometimes he would, Gurudev would describe, a 5, 6-year-old boy, he would nap in the daytime sometimes, and he would have darshan of Sri Ram with Sita, Hanuman, Lakshman, and they give him their blessings. His childhood name, Shriman Narayan Tiwari. When he went to school, Gurudev would say he was a very powerful athlete. He would do races and everyone would compete for second place. And when he would do the long jump, he would say, Jai Shri Ram, and he would jump. And Gurudev said he would feel like he was flying. Gurudev would say this himself. Right? He was very, very athletic. His parents told him, you should get a good job, good career. Why? Without that, how will you maintain your life? So they saw he was very athletic, very intelligent. They thought, let him become a police officer. What happened is the British at that time were still ruling India. This is 1930s now. So they came to his school and they were looking for potential officers, policemen. And they called Gurudev to their room, and you need to know English. It was English medium, but not everyone learned, Gurudev wasn't that interested. But the police captain who was questioning the different potential police officers, he would ask him, what is your name? And Gurudev didn't know such expert English at the time, so he would say, what is your name? The person thought, oh, this boy's very bold. Where are you from? Where are you from? So they had a question answer like this, and the police officer checked Gurudev's school test, very high, very top of his class, and very athletic. And also he saw he's very bold and smart, very courageous. So they discussed, and they said, okay, we'll hire him. So Gurudev became police officer. But still, his main focus was always bhakti and bhajan. And any time there would be Ram Katha or any Bhagavad Katha, he would try to get leave from work. One time, there was a Ram Katha going on in a nearby, he would have to go on, sometimes you go on like a work post, so you're going out and you have some opportunity to do that. But this time, it was a long Katha, and he was supposed to do a night shift of the Buxa, or that area, and you have to stay out night. Because also at that time, India was having some revolutionary, it was a revolutionary time. Gurudev wasn't interested so much, but he was doing his duty, and he was very expert at it. He got many promotions very quickly. But this time, said he went to the Harikatha, he was thinking, okay, I'll go to the last minute, to like 8, 9, and then I'll go back to my job. But he became so enraptured in Harikatha that the whole night passed. They were doing like this 24-hour Ram Katha and Kirtan. Then all of a sudden Gurudev is seeing, sun is rising, Mangala time. Oh no, what will happen? I'll get fired. So he went back to his, the next morning, he went and he thought, I'll just go and pick up my stuff. The superintendent, the SP, called him into his room. He said, oh, Narayan Tiwari. Gurudev was thinking, okay, definitely, the axe is going to fall. And he was thinking, very good, I'll go do Bhagavad Bhajan. So the SP looked at him, came forward like this. He said, last night I came to check all the, that everyone's at their job. And I saw some people are sleeping or some people are absent. And Gurudev thought, okay, here it's coming. He said, but I saw you very vigilant, walking back and forth, looking at all the outposts. And I saw a couple times, I was very happy. I want to give you a promotion. Oh. Gurudev told this story to some of his intimate sevaks. He said, look he said, this must have been the Lord. How would he? I was in Ram Katha. So if anyone dedicates themselves to Bhagavad Bhajan, they should not think there will be any material lack. Krishna says, Harishetano, that yoga kshema vahamyaham. This is Gita verse. Krishna says, I carry what they lack, I preserve what they have. Yes? So Gurudev was very happy. He thought, why am I doing this job? If Ram will be police officer for me, then no need for me to do it. So what happened is, then Gurudev had another dream. He had a dream of Ram Lakshman. But then in that dream, Ram Lakshman became, Ram is like his own transcendental hue. Like Sham Varna with a little hue of this green color, and Lakshman is fair. But then they both became golden. And they had no bow and arrows. They were raising their arms and chanting Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. And they were calling him, come, come, come. This is enough. Why? Srila Bhaktivinoda Narayana Goswami Maharaj, he's not a sadhaka. He didn't come to this world to practice bhakti and then, become qualified and then one day become guru. That's not his life. He came into this world from the Lord's association, sent by the Lord. And then, now the Lord is calling him. He was born in this family. Why? To teach us that just because we are in this path doesn't mean we should not love Lord Ram, that we should not love that, what? Keshava Drita Rama Sarira. Krishna Keshava, he comes as Ram. Krishna Keshava Drita Narahari Rupa. Krishna comes as Narasingha. Keshava Drita Meena Sarira. Keshava Drita Kurma Sarira. Keshava Drita Varaha Rupa. This is all Krishna's different incarnations. So Gurudev showed us this. But now, in this Kali Yuga, they are Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda, Krishna and Balaram. Right? Like we pray, na? Golokera prema dhana harinama sankirtana ratina janami lokena tai. What? Sachi Sutta? Yashodanandana Krishna hoilo Sachi Sutta Gauranga, Gaurachandra. Balaram hoilo Nitai. Dina hina jata chilo harinam udharilo. Tar shakshi jagai madai. So Gurudev heard this and he thought, oh, who is this Gaur Nitai? He had not heard about them. At that time, a sadhu came through his village and gave him a series of volumes of Hindi books glorifying Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda. From that time, he developed interest in Gaur Nitai. Then, a little later, the police sent him to inquire about some sadhus who were preaching very powerfully. And they thought perhaps they are preaching as a cover. But really they're trying to do some revolutionary work. So Gurudev went and there was one brahmachari, Narottam Ananda Brahmachari. Very dear friend of Srila Gurudev. He was like his Vartma Pradarshak Guru, showing him the path and bringing him to his Guru Pada Padma. And they spoke together. All like this sadhu was giving Bhagavad Katha. So he would do 3 hours katha, Gurudev would wait, and afterwards he would meet with him and they would discuss in English, broken English, because he only spoke Bengali and Gurudev didn't speak Bengali yet. So it was like that. After those few days, he gave him contact to Param Gurudev, Bhakti Pragan Keshava Goswami Maharaj, and Gurudev wrote a letter and started correspondence. And he thought, very quickly I'll leave home and join him. He knew that life is not going to last forever. We shouldn't delay a good thing too long. So Gurudev made up his mind to leave household life. So one night, without telling anyone, without telling that mutt, why that time, you send a letter, you get a response after 3 weeks or a month, who knows? It's not like, WhatsApp, Telegram. If you don't respond to me in 5 minutes, I don't like you anymore. That's what I experience. You didn't talk to me, it's been 24 hours. Hey, Baba, I'm talking to 30, 40 people right now. How many people do you want me to talk to? Have a little patience. No, I don't have any patience. You are not my friend unless you talk to me at once. This is my difficulty. Anyhow. Gurudev didn't wait for any letter. His heart was calling him. You know, Guru's correspondence is through the heart. Guru was calling him, therefore he is ready to go. This is how, you know. Otherwise we'll say, Krishna, I don't believe in you unless you call me on my phone. Our job is to call Krishna. Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, Dina Bandhu, Jagatpate, Gopesha, Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta, Namostate. We don't want to call Krishna, we want Krishna to call us. Hare Krishna has been calling us for millions of lifetimes. Loving search for lost jeev. Now this life we learn to call. How do we call Mahaprabhu? Bolo namo Mahabadanyaya Krishna prema pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvise Namaha. How do we call Shrimati Radhika? Bolo tapta kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. So we learn to call them, then we can hear how they're calling us and how they've been calling us. You know, when Guru appears, it said Guru appears in your life after you've been calling to Krishna for a long time. You know what I've learned from my Shiksha Guru? He said, how do you know you'll find a Braj Premi Guru? Because in your heart you've been praying to Krishna that you want real love and affection. And you're not just looking for awe and reverence. You're not looking for a guru who says he's God because you don't want to be God. Right? The people who want to be God, they look for a guru who says, I am God and you are also God. So you find it. It's easy to find, right? Go to any Hindu mandir and you can find a guru who says he's God. And then you can think, if I do enough sadhana, I'll also become God. And then one day you merge with the light. Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo. I had a class like a week ago in Vrindavan. I said, I don't know why everyone wants to merge with light. You know, what if someone turns off the light? What are you going to do? No. They say sometime you become like a diamond. Oh, and you're trapped in that light. So nobody can turn it off. But the point is, we are souls, conscious entities. Satchit Ananda Vigraha. If we are, Krishna is Satchidananda Vigraha, Jiva is also Angsa, part of that. Om Purnam, everyone know this verse, we can chant together. Om Purnamadha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. We are Angsa from Krishna, Mamaya Vangsa Jiva Loke. So Krishna is Satchidananda, divinely, eternally conscious. Why do you want to give up your consciousness and become inert light? Light has no consciousness. It loses itself. So this is, anyhow, my point is, if you're praying for that Braj Prem, then you'll find it. And when you are ready, Krishna will answer your call through guru-tattva. That's how it works. But you have to learn to call as well. Otherwise, we're chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. You know. So we sincerely call to Krishna, he will respond. It said that Antaryami, the indwelling supersoul, hears our calls and prayers, and that supreme supersoul then will manifest outwardly and empower whoever Vaishnava is meant to help us, and that will become like guru-tattva. In that way, Guru Krishna Rupahan, Guru is Krishna's messenger, not their own messenger. So, Param Gurudev was calling Gurudev, and Gurudev's heart was responding. Therefore, without any letter, without any message, Gurudev packed one little suitcase, and he took off. Middle of the night. Why? If he left in the daytime, everyone will say, Papa, Daddy, Sonny. For some, he is son. For some, he is Papa. You know? Western word is Papa, right? Bahut paap kiya, to Papa ban gaya. Therefore, I need a putra to liberate me. No problem.
Which year is this? Like before independence?
This is in the 1946. 1946. So he packed his one suitcase, left in the middle of the night, didn't tell his parents, didn't tell his family, and he took a train. And the train was going to Navadvip station in Navadvip, Koldvip. Gurudev came in the middle of the night to the station. And Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragyan, we'll have to do a sequel katha sometime. I'm going to run out of time here. We're just getting started. Nah. We need to have Gurudev Bhagavat Katha. We can do Bhagavat Katha only for Srila Gurudev. The temple we went to today, they said, oh, you should come and do 5 days katha. Only on Bhakti and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Radha Krishna. I said, oh, Baba, very nice. All Devi, I said I can give all Devi Devata Katha. They said, no, it would be better if you just give Radha Krishna Katha and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Katha. So I said, let's see. If you let me come. If the donkey did his job nicely. Right?
Want us to clap?
Yeah. Yes, very good. Pum. Very nice. Sadhu. We are in a donkey party, you know? We have to remember this. We are carrying this great treasure. How fortunate we are, right? How glorious is this path? How amazing is this opportunity?
And rare.
How rare and special. What do we chant to Mahaprabhu? Anarpita chidim chirat karunaya vatirna kalau samarpaitum unata ujjala rasam svabhakti shriyam hari purat sundara diti katamba sati sadapita sada hridaya kandare spuratu va sachinandana. Such a rare gift. So, Gurudev came to Navadvip late at night. But Param Gurudev knew he was coming. Why? I said last night, gurus in our line, they have siddhis, that means mystic powers, but without striving for them. We call it extrasensory perception. Right? ESP. Like sixth sense. Param Gurudev told his sevak, Sajan sevak, go and bring Narayan Tiwari from the train station. He said, who is Narayan Tiwari? Don't worry, he's coming. They had no correspondence about it. So Sajan Sevak went to the train station and everyone was arriving, hundreds of people. He said, who is Narayan Tiwari? Who is Narayan Tiwari? Who is Narayan Tiwari? Gurudev had gone into the office and he was asking, where is Gaudiya Math? And the station master was saying, there's so many mutts. Which one? Navadvip, Mayapur is famous. There's like dozens of mutts. And so Gurudev was thinking, where am I going to go tonight? Late night. At that time, he heard, oh, who is Narayan Tiwari? Who is Narayan Tiwari? And so Gurudev came out and he saw his very dear friend, lifelong friend, Srila Sajan Sevak, who became Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj. Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj, Gurudev ki. Last night we talked about them, right? We had a funny discussion last night. That Shrimati Radhika, she's very clever. She made her 3 maidservants, Narayan, Vaman, and Trivikram. Why? These are her maidservants. We know their Manjari name, their service, all their different Ekadash bhavs. So one, she gave name Narayan from childhood, Narayan Tiwari. And later he became Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Swami Maharaj ki, Gurudev ki. Then his very intimate friend and elder brother, Vaman Goswami Maharaj. Vaman, Trivikram, Narayan are one tattva. So it said they are 3 bodies, 1 heart and soul. Very close friends. Trivikram Goswami Maharaj, he met them there. His name is Radhanath. Before his name was Radhanath. But we don't have time. We'll have to do another katha another time. Maybe our ride isn't coming and we'll have to not go tonight. We'll plan next week katha. But let's see. You tell me when we have a few more minutes?
Yes.
Few more minutes.
Always.
just getting started, but a few more minutes. I'll try to stop short. Vaman Goswami Maharaj, then Srila Bhaktivedanta Trivikram Goswami Maharaj ki jai. His name is Radhanath Brahmachari. When Gurudev would later preach about Radharani, he would say, oh, you're only chanting Gopi, Gopi, Gopi. You're only chanting Radhe, Radhe. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would chant Gopi, Gopi, and people would tease him. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was Nimai Pandit, so one time he chanted Gopi, Gopi. All his school fellows teased him. Oh, Gopi, 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 Gopi. You should chant Narayan, 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 Narayan. Why are you chanting Gopi? What to speak of chanting Radhe, Radhe, right? Later people tease Gurudev. And Trivikram Goswami Maharaj, his name is Radhanath. Radharani is his Nath. Therefore, Brajbasis are very crooked. I tell people, Srila Trivikram Goswami Maharaj is the most Radha Paksha of them. I told the story last night. When I went to in 96, I got sick. We went to him. He was a doctor, Trivikram Maharaj. He asked my father, who is this boy? My father said, he is my son. He said, no, he is our son. So I am unqualified, but I want to be their son. So he was very sweet. He was very Radha Paksha, but he would always hide it. He would say, chant Krishna, Krishna. Krishna is Bhagavan. Why are you chanting the name of these ladies, Gopi, Gopi? Why you like Gopi, Gopi? You are chanting. He would tease him like that. Gurudev would get very angry, red-faced. And Trivikram Goswami Maharaj would say, I'm poking the bee's nest to get out more honey. Why? He would say, Gurudev has so much honey inside, but he's hiding it. So I'm poking and teasing him, so more nectar comes out. So they had this relationship. Okay, I'll speak 10 more minutes. Then we'll see how many stories we can get aside. So Gurudev, he came and he met Param Gurudev, and they embraced and were weeping. And Gurudev stayed there. He gave up all thoughts of home and his past life. He fully dedicated himself. In Gaur Purnima 1947, he took diksha. In that Gaur Purnima, there was such a beautiful Sankirtan that he saw Gaur Nitai in that Sankirtan. And he fainted in ecstasy. And after many hours, Param Gurudev brought him back into his external consciousness. So these are all Gauranga Mahaprabhu's associates. Param Gurudev, he is the one who gave the sannyas to Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. They were all, when Param Gurudev started his organization, it's called Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti. Of the 4 first members was Abhay Charnadavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami. Right? You see their relationship. They have relationship on so many levels that we cannot understand. In our temple in New York, we have Swami Prabhupada Murti, one side, Srila Gurudev Murti, one side. And then we have Rupa Manjari, Rati Manjari, Lalita and Vishaka, and then Radhara Manju, Kam Gayatri, Sarup Darshan. Why Radha Krishna seated, are very comfortably seated. Radha Krishna Prana Mora, Jugala Kishore. Radha Krishna, Kadambera Kulekeli, Kadambera Van. They're beautiful, seated on their beautiful Ratna Singhasan. And Lalita Vishaka are giving chamara and sweets, Rupa Manjari, Rati Manjari serving them, and Swami Prabhupada, Gurudev very happily together. That at least there he is allowed to also be Gopi. Most places he's banned. You're not allowed to be in Gopi Bhav. But in New York Ashram, he is always in Gopi Bhav. But externally he is teaching, right? Sit properly. Chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Right? Distribute my books, go back to Godhead. This is true. But also he is relishing Nikunja Yuno Ratikeli Siddhai. They are very close friends. They are very close associates. Life after life, intimate friends. So, I'll tell 2 stories. Let's see. Let's see. One time, after Gurudev joined, he got this title Bhakta Bandhav. We use this title in our mission. Why? It's one of the titles, like if we say he is Bhaktivedanta, there are many Bhaktivedantas. If we say he is Narayan Maharaj, there's Swami Narayan, there's, many Narayans. And in 1947, he got the title Bhakta Bandhav, which means dearmost friend of the devotees. That's why we use it. Bottom Gurudev, if you read Gurudev's biography, Acharya Keshari, he writes there, Gaur Narayan Bhakta Bandhav. So in 1947, he got this title. There was a few reasons for this. One is, Param Gurudev had a sevak, assistant, named Ananga Mohan Brahmachari. This Ananga Mohan Brahmachari was so strict in his sadhana, he did such beautiful seva, but he got tuberculosis. At that time, there was no cure. So he took him to one like sanatorium, which is where they take care of patients and prepare them for departure. Gurudev went and lived with him for months. And when he is coughing blood, any of those, it's very, very highly contagious. And if you catch that, then it means you'll also go. Gurudev had no concern for his health. He thought, he is the sevak of my Gurudev. He is my life and soul. I can give my life for him, no problem. Gurudev took care of him for months. When he was on his departure bed, this Anangamohan Brahmachari began to call out, Ha Gurudev, Ha Gurudev, Ha Gurudev. Gurudev was there by his side holding his hand. Then he said, Radha Krishna, Gurudev has come, Gurudev has come. He would not say Ha, he said, Gurudev has come. I know also some Swami Prabhupada disciples, when they were leaving this world, they would say, Prabhupada has come, Prabhupada has come. Why? Guru takes this responsibility. So Anangamohan Brahmachari was saying, Gurudev is calling me. And then he would say, Radha Krishna, I see them, they're calling me, they're calling me. And Gurudev was holding his hand saying, please, also, pray for me. And in that way he left this world. Bolo Anangamohan Brahmachari ki jai. You see the power of Guru Seva. Guru Sevak Manya Apanar. There's a verse in Chaitanya, in our Mahaprabhu's line. Guru Sevak Manya Apanar. That Guru Sevak is worshipable like one's own self. So Gurudev served him like that, and Gurudev served all the devotees like that. He got sick, but he was cured. But Gurudev would serve everyone, any devotee, like you saw in the West, how he was your friend. Real heartfelt friend, right? On that level, that not just a friend who you can hang out with, but a friend who you can hang out with who's taking you back to Godhead. Right?
So much love.
Srila Gurudev ki best friend. This is called Bhakta Bandhav. So therefore, in our mission, we use this title to remember him and to, keep his line and his mood intact. That he is also a very special acharya. People say, he came, he went, now many gurus. Yes, many gurus are there. Many more gurus will come. But let us not forget Bhakta Bandhav Srila Gurudev. Let us not forget Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj, who his own guru gave him the title. He gave him the title Bhaktivedanta in 1952. 1952 he took sannyas. Param Gurudev asked him. He asked Vaman Goswami Maharaj, will you take sannyas? He said, there are so many qualified disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta, I'm not qualified. He asked Trivikram Goswami Maharaj, will you take sannyas? He said, I won't take sannyas. He asked Gurudev, that time Gaura Narayan, Brahmachari name, will you take sannyas? He said, Guru Maharaj, I offered my body to you. I offered my soul to you. You tell me to wear black cloth, or red cloth, or no cloth, I am yours. So then Param Gurudev said, Vaman, Sajan Sevak, Radhanath, your younger god brother is taking sannyas. You will have to offer him pranam and follow his instructions. Will you also take sannyas? They said, yes, Guru Maharaj, as you like. So all three together took sannyas. One became Bhaktivedanta Narayana Maharaj. One became Bhaktivedanta Trivikram Maharaj. One became Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj. So I said, Radharani made her three maidservants, Narayan, Vaman very small. But he was Diksha Guru of everyone. After Param Gurudev left 1968. Vaman Goswami Maharaj became Diksha Guru in the mission for like 40 years. 30-something years. Like 35 years till he left. And Trivikram Goswami Maharaj never gave Diksha, even though Trivikram is the biggest. Those who know this Bhagavad Gita, Trivikram is the biggest. Vaman is the smallest. And Narayan is maintaining everything. So they worked together as one soul, one heart. They never had any quarrel between them. And they maintained their Guru Maharaj's mission for many years. I want to tell one last story about Gurudev's ecstasies. One time in Keshuji Gaudiya Math, Gurudev was reading Gopal Champu, a book by Jiva Goswami, and Param Gurudev was on his bed. And this is Damodar Leela, Kartik Mas. And as Gurudev was reading this, Param Gurudev showed all the symptoms of divine ecstasy. Hair standing on end, voice choking up, foam coming from the mouth. He began to roll and he went into samadhi, like Antardasa, complete internal consciousness. And Gurudev was there with them. So there's so many beautiful pastimes like this. Gurudev has unlimited glories. We're praying again and again at the lotus feet of Srila Gurudev. He came to the West. I said this last night. He came to the West like a very humble little stream, sadhu. But then he became like a flood of Ganga, Jamuna, Saraswati, Triveni. And he swept everyone up in the flood of Krishna Prem and brought us all to Vrindavan Dham, brought us all to Navadvip Dham, brought us all to Puri Dham, but especially said, I've come to bring you back to Vrindavan. This is when we say back home, back to Godhead, that is Vrindavan Dham. So we are praying to the lotus feet of Guru Pada Padma, Srila Bhakti Narayana Goswami Maharaj. May he be happy with us. May he give us some opportunity to serve his lotus feet, life after life. Bolo Shri Gurudev ki Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Jai Jai Shri Radhe Sham. Thank you so much for your patience.